Hi folks, we have with us today the Tri-Star from Tom Bin. The Tri-Star is a travel backpack that is friendly to casual as well as business travel. So one of the forum members was asking about packing certain things into the Tri-Star, how they would fit. So we'd like to show you that today. The Tri-Star that I have here is made on the outside with a black 1050 denier ballistic nylon, which is sourced in the US. The bag is made in Seattle, Washington at the Tom Bin factory. The interior of the bag is lined with a 200 denier halcyon fabric. This one is wasabi in color. So the bag is available in a number of colors in these fabrics, as well as with a 400 denier halcyon on the exterior. So the halcyon is a little bit lighter than the ballistic nylon. The ballistic nylon can take a little more abuse, but you get a little choice in terms of how your bag is made. In terms of including the items that the forum member described, we haven't packed anything into the front pockets. Everything was able to fit into the three main compartments of the Tri-Star. So we'll go in and show you how those are organized. Before we go in, I just wanted to cover a couple of the exterior features. On the top of the Tri-Star, you have a couple of pour-on-filled grab handles. These are super comfortable if you want to carry your Tri-Star like a suitcase or a briefcase. Also on top are two D-rings, and these are attachment points for a shoulder strap. If you want to carry the Tri-Star with a shoulder strap, especially if it has a little bit of weight to it, the absolute shoulder strap helps to magically, I like to call it magically, take a little bit of the burden off of your shoulder if you're carrying it that way. My personal preference for carrying the Tri-Star is using the backpack straps, right? If you choose not to use the backpack straps, they can be undone on the side with this buckle that's here and then stored in this zippered pocket. Excuse me, let me reattach that. The other thing I have inside of the zippered pocket is an internal frame. This is removable, of course. It doesn't come with the Tri-Star. It's something you can purchase optionally if you want to use it. I really like the use of the internal frame because it provides a little bit of rigidity. It helps to, I feel like, spread the load across your back, make heavier loads a little more comfortable to carry. The other items I want to point out on the exterior are the grab handles at either end. And these are super comfortable if your Tri-Star is stored in the overhead compartment, whether you're traveling by airplane or in a train where you store the Tri-Star overhead. It makes it easy to grab and pull down when you're disembarking. So let's go inside. We go inside via these YKK AquaGuard zippers. These are really great. They help to keep the moisture out of your bag even if you're in downpour. I do want to mention that the seams are, the bag is sewn. It's not like the seams are taped. So don't think of this as a completely waterproof bag. If you were to submerge it in water, for example, for a bath, you might see a little bit of moisture go inside. I've never had to give this one a bath, but I've washed other bags and you see a little bit of moisture inside. But the interior of all of Tom Bin bags, including the Tri-Star, are lined with a clear urethane lining, and that helps to act as a moisture barrier, as do the YKK AquaGuard zippers. So let's go into the front compartment. The front compartment, just like the rear compartment, zips all the way down. Inside of the rear compartment, you have this zipper divider. I chose not to divide it given what we're carrying inside of this main compartment, front compartment, but you can if you choose to divide it so you have a left side and a right side. There are also a couple of O-rings in here that act as attachment points for either key strap where you attach keys or a key strap via which you might attach some accessories. So speaking of accessories, we have here a 3D mesh organizer cube, and I put the power adapters in here for the phone, I put a phone adapter in here, but pretend it's an iPad adapter, right? because there's an iPad in here when we get to the middle compartment, as well as a power adapter for a laptop. I have a deluxe fifth kit with toiletries inside. This one happens to be made out of a grass-colored 210 denier ballistic nylon. This also comes, the deluxe fifth kit as well as the regular fifth kit come in a halcyon 200 denier halcyon fabric as well. I won't go into the detail of the toiletries. We have another video that describes what you can fit inside of the deluxe fifth kit, so I'll leave you that as a separate homework assignment to watch if you're interested in what that holds. And then we have here a packing cube. So what we put into this packing cube that the forum member requested is 6 pairs of socks and 6 pairs of underwear. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 pairs of socks. Now I know there's different types of socks out there. There are ones that are smaller and thinner, and there's ones that are thicker, like hiking socks. These are just the socks I grabbed to pack in here. And then boxer briefs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And same thing, there's different types of underwear out there that take up more or less room, but we have these inside of this either packing cube. Let's turn the bag around and we'll go into the rear compartment. So the rear compartment, again, zips all the way down. And what I have packed in here, actually quite simply, are 2 packing cubes with the other clothing items that we'll cover in just a moment. But before I do that, just a real quick tour. There's a couple of O-rings on this side, one more on this side, and then there are also removable straps for tying down your clothes if you're packing them directly into the Tri-Star as opposed to in the packing cubes we see here. So let me just set the Tri-Star down for a moment and we'll go into what's packed in these. So this packing cube is a little bit larger. Where are my zippers? Oh, here they are. There are 2 zippers, by the way, on all of the packing cubes, which makes them, you know, a little easier to get at. I appreciate that Tom BIHN does that as opposed to just putting 1 zipper. So the forum member asked for 2 pairs of pants. I have a pair of khakis, and then also I put a pair of jeans in here, which take up a little more room, right? So again, if you're using what are described as travel pants, or just in general you wear pants that are you know, thinner, lighter fabric, they'll take up less space. I put a couple of dress shirts in here. These are long sleeves dress shirts. And then the forum member asked for 2 sweaters that are not too thick. So I have one that's a little thicker, and then I have a merino that's a little, they're actually both merino, but one's a little thicker and the other one's a little thinner. So those were packed in here, in that packing cube. And then in our last packing cube here, again, a smaller one, they asked for 4 t-shirts, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. And again, there are t-shirts of different sorts. The 4 I have here, 3 of them are cotton. This one over here is made of merino. It's a smart wool shirt, so a little bit lighter, a little bit thinner. But that is everything, and I wouldn't pack much more than this into the Tri-Star. Again, we didn't put anything into the front compartments, right? These are, oh, excuse me, actually, we haven't gotten through everything. I forgot the middle compartment. But I didn't put anything into the front compartments. These are great for things like your keys, your wallet, your passport, you know, a book, other things that you may put in there. So let's go into the middle compartment. So the middle one, unlike the front 2, the front one and the rear one, does not zip all the way down. It zips down to this point up to where the grab handle is. And the idea is that this is kind of a briefcase of sorts, right? I put in here a 13-inch MacBook Pro as requested. It's the older one, so it's a little bit thicker than what's currently available. And then what was requested was an iPad mini, which unfortunately I no longer have. But I put an iPad Air 2 in here and a cache. Both of these are in the earlier style cache. The new cache has a zipper closure rather than the flap, but they fit similarly. The other thing I want to point out in this pocket are 2 O-rings. So I have one at this end and I have one at this end on the other side. So that's the Tri-Star, and that is everything that was requested to be packed in it. I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for watching and have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.